Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live with me, Chase Lee, and sitting across from me is...
Brian Sudfield.
That's right. It's that kid. He's back. No, he will be with me every single week, so if you don't like him, fuck you. All right, so, so movies came out on Wednesday, actually, not Friday, since it's the 4th of July weekend, and so there was a couple movies that came out. We had Magic Mike, double extra large penis, and then we had Terminator Genesis, the Jizz movie. So we had to pretty much pick between the good old Schwartzman and the good old Tatum. So we haven't really done Schwarzenegger like at all. I haven't done Schwarzenegger on my channel at all, and I don't think Brian has on his. So we're just like, let's tackle this guy. So that's what this week's episode is going to be. In honor of Terminator Genesis, we're going to do top five. We're going to do top five Arnold Schwarzenegger films, and I can't wait. This is going to be great because basically I've had the same list for decades now because my five have been the same five ever since like I discovered him as a teenager, which sounds really gay. I didn't discover Arnold Schwarzenegger as a teenager. Let's just calm that down, folks. So as usual, Brian does not tell me his list. I do not tell him my list. And on the episode of Rumi and Cole and the Movie Podcast for tomorrow, Brian's actually going to be on it, and we're going to do Terminator Genesis, and he does not know how I felt about it. And I will not tell him until tomorrow. So it's gonna eat him on the inside because he doesn't know whether I liked it, whether I hated it, whether I was okay with it. But that's not what we're here to discuss right now. It's Arnold Schwarzenegger, baby. And fuck you, asshole. All right, so Brian, I'm gonna let you go first. Actually, let's do some honorable mentions. What honorable mentions do you have on said Schwartz?
Total Recall.
Oh, wow. That's not in your top list?
Oh, it almost made it. It was my number 7.
Wow, you did not do that to me.
I'm sorry. It was that close. If number 4 and 5 didn't exist, it would be on the top 5.
Ooh, okay.
So, Conan the Barbarian. I don't care for the Conan the Destroyer. Commando. Alyssa Milano. I know, you're just like...
I know. I'm trying to think of what your list is now that Total Recall is not in it. Are you...
Don't worry. You'll like my list. Hopefully you'll like my list.
What's wrong with you, Brian? Come on.
And then there's 2 more honorable mentions. I don't know how you felt about Escape Plan. I actually really enjoyed that movie. I didn't love it. I just thought it was for what it was. It was very entertaining. And it's probably his best film this decade. That's not really saying much, but it's probably the best film he's done this decade.
Wow.
And I like The Last Stand. That's okay. Yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
That's understandable. I have not seen Escape Plan, but I can only imagine watching someone that talks like he has a sock stuffed in his mouth and have someone that has a speech impediment. I'm sure it's really riveting cinema. So, I really want to say it, though, because I love me some Stallone and so, I want to hear some barking. It's just 2 people barking at each other for an hour and a half. For me, I don't have that many on my honorable mentions list. I've only got 1. And that's just because, okay, folks, let's just call it what it is. Arnold Schwarzenegger is not the best actor in the world.
Agreed.
By a long shot. But when he's in the right roles, it works. And that's why I'm pretty sure these movies are both on our list. We'll talk about them later. But when he's cast in the right role, for his build, his accent and stuff, it works. So I only got 1 honorable mention. That's just because it makes me laugh hysterically every single time I watch it. And that is, Brian, I want you to guess it.
Kindergarten Cop?
No, but it's another family comedy.
Don't tell me it's Jingle All the Way.
It's Jingle All the Way, motherfuckers.
What the hell?
Hey, Jimmy, get the Turbo Man door. You put the cookie down. No, it's so great. It's so fucking great. If you guys have not
he's great in the movie. The movie is just blah.
No,
it's Anakin Skywalker that ruins the movie.
But this is the only movie where you're going to see Arnold Schwarzenegger kick a midget Santa Claus. It's the only movie, okay? And it's got Sinbad in it, which is already awful. It's got Tom Hanks' wife. It's got the late Phil Hartman. He's fantastic. He's like, because Arnold Schwarzenegger's character is named Howard. So Phil Hartman's like, oh, Howard, how are you doing today? Like, he's that like really over the top, like pompous neighbor asshole. It's fantastic. It's a terrible movie, but it's Jamie and his Turbo Man doll. And Booster. Fucking Booster. Fuck that guy. Fuck that pink dinosaur looking motherfucker. No, Jingle All the Way is a guilty pleasure for sure. So that's it. That's all I got for my honorable mentions. So this is going to be really interesting because here's the deal. Here's the deal, though, folks. I'm pretty sure Brian and I have probably the same movies on our list, but it's a matter of which order. Because I already determined that from the get-go. I was like, Arnold Schwarzenegger has made like some really classic action movies, and he's made like, so they're fun to watch. I'll guarantee we have more of this in our list. So, Brian, you go first. What is your number 5?
Number 5, Kindergarten Cop. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Whoa. Are you serious?
There's not many great Arnold movies. I have four movies above it are so much better. But the Kindergarten Cop, to me, like, I know that you said Jingle All the Way is a guilty pleasure. It kind of is to me anyway, but I think I dislike it more than you.
You dislike everything.
What?
You dislike everything.
No, I don't. I dislike a lot of the stuff that people my age like.
That's true.
So,
I'll give you that.
So, no, but I think Kindergarten Cop is really entertaining. Did Reitman direct it? Ivan Reitman?
I think he did.
So, I mean, like, it has a signature comedic style in it, but Arnold going back and forth with these little kids, it's incredibly funny. It's really funny. I think it's hilarious. It's not great, but it's really entertaining. It's so funny. It's just when you see him in the comedy and like I said, the shut up scene is just so. I love it.
Kindergarten Cop's fine. Like, it's entertaining. Like, if you're ever bored, like at home at 3 p.m. and you're on the Lifetime channel and that pops on, sure, watch it. But if I had to pick like one ridiculous comedy that he's in, it's not Jingle All the Way because that's more of like a family comedy. So if I had to pick like a pure comedy for the sake of like ridiculous entertainment, I go with Twins.
Twins is funny too. Twins is funny too, but
it's a pregnant it's a huge pregnant Austrian dude and Danny DeVito. You can't beat that combination. Like that's primo stuff, my friend. So, but yeah, no. I mean, Kindergarten Cops, it's fine. I'll let you have that one. I'll let you have that one, Brian. All right. So here's the thing. Before we started this episode, I had my list in my head, but I constantly switch them all up because they're all fantastic in my eyes. But number 5, I'll go with Total Recall. Ooh. I'll go with the one you put in your honorable mention. Listen, when I am a teenager, like most teenagers, I want to see movies with tits.
Correct.
Don't worry, this will lead up into Total Recall. So, as a young boy that's fascinated by, boobs, like most guys are, I want to watch movies with boobs in them. So I started watching Showgirls and Basic Instinct and Starship Troopers, which are all fantastic, by the way. Starship Troopers is probably my favorite out of this director's bunch, but I'll get to that shortly. But as I was going down his filmography list, I was like, there's one I haven't seen. He directed it, Paul Verhoeven, and it's got Arnold Schwarzenegger, Total Recall. Let's check it out. It was by far one of the kookiest sci-fi movies I saw in the 90s, but I loved it. It was so great because I've never seen Arnold like super angry before that. So like, because in the movie he gets super angry because he's like, pissed off at everyone because he doesn't know what's real and what's fantasy. And so exactly, like if you don't know the story, basically Arnold he goes to this place to kind of have memories implanted in him, and throughout the movie we realize that maybe what we're seeing is not what he's actually thinking. It's probably just a memory implant. We don't know. That's what's kind of cool about this movie. Just going in there blind, it just fucks with your mind. It's so good. And plus, the 3-boob chick. I mean, come on. That's iconic. And plus, Paul Verhoeven, he's really abrasive. Like he's kind of like in your face with all of his movies, which I really like. I'm talking violent sex. He is all up in your grill. But that's why I like Total Recall. It's just a fun, over-the-top. It's actually a really good sci-fi film that kind of plays with your mind a little bit, and it kind of puts Arnold in more. Listen, most of Arnold's roles are cheesy, but this one's kind of like he's trying, and I can see that. So that's why I put this one kind of in the list, because it's something different. It's not like total cheese Arnold fest, but it's a really good sci-fi film from the 90s. That's all I can say. So that's my number 5. Brian, what is your number 4, sir?
My number 4 is probably the most entertaining film from this particular director, and that's True Lies, which is directed by James Cameron. Okay. I don't know how you feel about this movie. Is this on your list or no? Oh wait, you probably shouldn't tell me that. So
I don't know, Brian. I don't know what True Lies is. I'm fucking with you. Come on. So tell me why you like True Lies.
It was a very different movie for both like James Cameron and Arnold, and not that Arnold was the scene stealer in this movie. I think that was what's her name? The woman from Halloween. What's her name?
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Thank you, Jamie Lee Curtis. Thank you. She was the scene stealer in the entire movie. I think she was the best thing about the movie. Arnold was great in the movie, but it's really entertaining. It's a very different movie for James Cameron. I think after this, I'm not entirely sure. I think after this, he made Titanic. I don't really know. I'm not entirely sure about that.
That's the timeline. It was Judgment Day came out in 91. Then True Lies came out in 94. Then Titanic came out in 97.
Yeah. So it was a very interesting. First you come off with this big sci-fi film, then you do this sort of action comedy, then you do this big disaster film, romance film anyway, with Kate Winslet's tits. So
Ryan, Jesus Christ, this is a family show, and you're just yelling.
Family show? You're the one who said, when I was a teenager, I went to see movies with tits.
Yeah, because that was true. You're just like Kate Winslet's tits, man. Ugh. Come on, let's calm down.
I didn't do that. I didn't go Arnold I didn't do that.
On Kate Winslet, let me see your tits.
No. Oh God, this is so off topic. Wow.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We went into a really weird, dark place. Happy 4th of July, everyone. So, Kate Winslet's tits. Anyways, continue, Brian. I'm sorry about that.
No, True Lies is a really good movie. I really like it. It's not my favorite Jim Cameron movie, but it's pretty different for him, like I said, and it's a lot of fun. So much fun.
Okay, I'll give you that. I mean, True Lies is pretty fun, I guess. I mean, it's whatever you think. Number 4 for me. The one thing about Arnold Schwarzenegger is that he's always in iconic movies with iconic roles. However, in this one, he's not the iconic role, but he plays the main character. Well, fighting the iconic role. So, Brian, what's my number 4?
I don't know. Predator.
You're right. It's Predator.
That low?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have a problem with that, sir? Do you have a problem with me putting Predator at number 4?
Well, if you're I'm sure you're number 3. I don't know which one. Yeah, go ahead. Talk. Just say why it's your number 4.
Okay. I just I kind of felt a little hostility there, Brian. So no, Predator is it's a really good sci-fi film, and plus, every Arnold movie's got an iconic scene. What's the most iconic scene from Predator?
There's so many of them, dude. There's 2 of them in my head.
It's the bicep scene.
Of course, that's one of them.
Son of a bitch. And it zooms in right on the biceps.
Those biceps. Fucking.
That's what I really like about this movie is that Arnold was so iconic back in the day that he was competing with a really iconic villain, which is Predator. I mean, this is the type of creature that has camouflage. He kills people. He's fucking ruthless.
Exactly. You are one ugly motherfucker.
You're one ugly motherfucker. That was shit. That was terrible. Don't tell people I did that. No, it's a good sci-fi film. It's a good action film. It's got a lot of cheesy one-liners, and it spawned off one of the most iconic, villains of all time. And Predator, it's just a good one, man. It's just good to watch. But what's really funny is I had that. As number 5, then I had Total Recall on top of that. I kept swapping those back and forth, but I mean, there's really nothing more to say. Like, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jesse Ventura. Who else is? Oh, I forgot. But I need to own Predator. I actually don't even have that one. But
I don't have it either.
Yeah, no, Predator. It's a great sci-fi action film. That's all I gotta say. I mean, you know what's great about our list? It's basically the same genre for all of them. He's either in a sci-fi film, an action film, or a sci-fi action film. That's just the way it is. So that's my number 4 is Predator. Brian, what is your number 3?
This will be very quick.
Brian, if you're going to look at Kate Winslet's tits, I don't have time for that. Unless you can do it really fast.
Disney.
I think Brian became blind once he put those sunglasses on, and he starts yelling at the walls for some random reason.
Number 3.
What?
Wait. Oh,
Why
shit,
no.
no.
Oh!
No,
Why
no.
is it so low, Brian?
No, this is number 3.
Wait, what is it? I can't see it.
You can't see.
No,
Can you see it
okay. It was my camera was blurred. Okay, so that's your number 3. Okay.
The first Terminator is my number 3.
Okay.
Oh, there were. Fuck! I totally mixed that up. I am so pissed now. Wow.
Wow, Brian, what in the hell? I was about to throw something at you through my screen. So, tell me why Terminator is number 3 for you and not higher on the list, because it is regarded as one of the best science fiction films of all time, one of the best Arnold movies of all time. So why'd you put it so low on your list?
Because number 2 and number 1 are better than the first Terminator. So, because the Terminator is what was that?
I'm just.
Was there a bug in your room or something?
I'm hearing you out.
Was there a naked woman in your room? Like, what was it that you were looking at?
There might be. I mean, if that's not a naked woman in the corner, then I have some random person covered in mud. So I'm probably going to die in about 5 minutes. But you just calm down recording something. All right. Continue, Brian.
Terminator is the thing that I really like about Terminator, and a lot of people say is it isn't like just a sci-fi movie. It's like an indie horror film. And the thing I didn't realize this. I rewatched the first two the other day for Genesis, and what I didn't realize was that how low of a budget it had. It was like a $6 million budget, and when you watch it, you're like, $6 million. That's at first you're like, oh, okay, like that's really shocking. But then as you watch the movie, you're like, oh yeah, I can see that this is a very low budget horror movie. Like it's intense, it's scary. He is scary as hell. Like, I mean, he was already scary from the beginning. Like, you don't want to mess with him at all, and he seems like a cool guy in real life, but you still don't want to mess with him no matter what. I love, like, even though to me he's not the main, he is like the main character, but really he isn't the main character. But he works so well for this role, and we'll talk about this later on if we even talk about Terminator 2, and we will talk about Terminator 2. I don't know why I said if.
That may not be on my fucking list, Brian. You're just assuming stuff. Yeah, exactly. Terminator. I might have fucking twins in number 1. Did you ever think of that?
The Terminator is great. Okay, it's great. What else can you say about Terminator?
It is great, and I will agree with you on that. That Terminator is my number 3 as well. I'm with Brian. 1 and number 2 are the best out of the series, and it's really hard to distinguish both of them. Like, which one's better? The first one is a science fiction horror film. That's what it is. The second one plays on the sci-fi elements a lot, but it's more of an action film. So it's kind of hard to judge which one's better because they're both great. And the reason why I put Terminator at number 3 is because obviously the first 2 above that are way better. But the one thing I like about, because I rewatched the first 3 before Genesis. I don't own Salvation, thank God. The first Terminator is, like you said, the budget is $6 million. But what James Cameron was able to do with $6 million and create this really cool, unique story that no one's really ever seen before. We actually have some really good practical effects, really good stunt work, just really good characters, and the story the one thing I have always said about the Terminator movies that has kind of screwed James Cameron over, has kind of screwed the whole franchise over, is that if you have not seen Terminator, I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a twist at the end to where when you find out what it is, that means this whole thing is a loop. It's an infinite loop that has to keep going. So that's the one kind of criticism that you can say about Terminator is that when you are stuck with that loop, it's kind of hard to do sequels because people are going to be looking at that loop to see if you are consistent with your shit. So it's a really good loop, but maybe if it was like a standalone movie, there was no more sequels after that, it'd probably be awesome. But that's the only kind of complaint I have on the first Terminator is that loop, it kills the franchise because people, that's what they look at. They look at the loop. But other than that, like I said, I love the first Terminator. I really do. But, Terminator 3 might be on my list, Brian. Did you ever think of that? It might be on top of that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's my number 3 is the first Terminator. And my favorite line out of the entire thing is when the guy's knocking on the door and he's like, can I clean? He's like, fuck you, asshole. It's so great. So Brian, what is your number 2?
Predator.
What?
That's my number 2.
Oh my God.
Why are you so shocked?
Oh.
Don't have a heart attack. Don't die on me.
Oh man. Why is that so high on your list, man? What's going on?
Because I fucking love it.
Are you okay, man?
I fucking love it.
All right, so tell me why you like it way more than I do. Like, what's the one thing that stands out to you the most about Predator? Like, when you see Predator or when someone talks about it, why do you go bananas over it?
Because it's so damn cheesy and it's so entertaining. And when you make me laugh and have a good time with an 80s action movie, that's the kind of movie I want, like Die Hard. And it's from the director of Die Hard, so that's another reason why I love it so much, because I think I saw Die Hard first and then I saw Predator, so like that's why it means a lot to me. So like I don't know, like you said pretty much everything that's so good about it. Like, I mean, there are times where it goes back to like Terminator, the first Terminator being my number 2 and then Predator being number 3, but as of right now, Predator is my number 2. So like it's very difficult to explain. Like, if you're someone who had a father that adores the movie, you would understand. I don't know how if you got into the movie yourself, or if you had a father or uncle or cousin or relative or whatever who got into the movie, I wouldn't know. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, give me your list one more time up until number 2.
5 Kindergarten Cop, 4 True Lies, 3 Terminator, and 2 Predator.
So our number 2 and our number 4 are switched.
Correct.
Yep. So my number 2, with that being said, is True Lies. And I have an argument to be made that this is probably James Cameron's best movie.
What?
Yeah.
Hell no. It's what? Oh, he's never had a bad movie. Well, no, he actually hasn't.
Listen, I'm one of the Cameron defenders. I actually like everything he's done up until this point. Yeah, I even like Titanic, bitches. I got it over there in the corner, and I'll watch it. I'll watch all 3.5 hours.
I have it on fucking Blu-ray, man. I have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, no,
I have $30 on that, and I don't care. I spent $30 on that movie. I don't care. Best $30 I've ever spent.
Yeah, no, I even have Avatar. I have the exclusive deluxe edition. I have all 3 versions on it.
I actually don't have Avatar on Blu-ray. I have it on DVD, but I don't have it on Blu-ray.
I don't have Blu-ray either. It's on DVD, but it's got like the theatrical cut, the director's cut.
Yeah, I have that one too. That's the one I have too.
I love that version. No, like I like the Cameron, but if I had to pick one, I go with True Lies, man. Like it's like what you said. It's the sequential like 90s action film. It's filled with cheese. It's filled with sex appeal from Jamie Lee Curtis. So when you're watching it, you're just like, yeah. And then it's got one of the best sidekicks that he's ever had in a movie. Like I would argue with you that it's like you said, Jamie Lee Curtis steals the show. Her and Tom Arnold steal the show. Are you kidding me? Like Arnold Schwarzenegger is the main cat in this entire movie. But you look at Tom Arnold and you look at Jamie Lee Curtis, they are such a great supporting cast that all 3 of them just make that movie so much better than it actually is. It's just a really, damn entertaining action film. That's all I gotta say. And Arnold Schwarzenegger's on a horse in an elevator. Just watch it. It's some good stuff. So True Lies at number 2. Now here it is, ladies and gentlemen. Our number 1 picks. I'm like 90% positive that we have the same one.
Yes, we do. We probably do.
Maybe.
If we don't, I'll probably die.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Brian, what is your favorite Arnold Schwarzenegger film? I don't know what a tattoo is.
Oh my God. Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Terminator 2 Judgment Day.
Okay. I can see that. I can see where you might pick that. For me, my number 1 is his cameo in Terminator Salvation. I'm kidding. Brian's dead, ladies and gentlemen. No. My favorite film always has been, always ever will be, unless something else comes along, is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. Now listen, this is a pretty damn good action film. And it's actually a really good sequel that furthers the story of Sarah Connor and John Connor and has a new Terminator from the T-1000 played by Robert Patrick. The only thing I will say that I disliked about the movie, and I've seen this movie a million times and it still bugs the hell out of me. To this day, ladies and gentlemen, maybe besides Jason Clarke, I don't know, we'll get to the review tomorrow. No one has ever portrayed John Connor well. There, I fucking said it. I like John Connor as a character, and Brian's he's ready to yell at me. I hate Edward Furlong in that movie. I do. I hate the fact that he was like 12 years old when he started shooting. Then he dropped his balls, and he had to go back and dub over all of his lines, and you can tell it's just awkward. He's not that good of an actor. I don't understand what this whole franchise's problem is with casting a good actor to play John Connor. Then in the third one, it's some unknown wannabe that went to probably drugs after he did that movie. So I don't understand. And like Christian Bale was fine in Salvation, but the problem is the movie was so weird and awful and it was very forgettable. I don't even count that. So Edward Furlong, man, like that was the only thing he's known for. Now he's like
No, American History X.
Please, he's more well known for Judgment Day.
Fine. Yes, he is, but still, it's not like he hasn't done anything that he's not known for.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'm overreacting, but you can't argue with me and say that he was not like awful in that movie because he was.
All right, he wasn't good in the movie, but he wasn't like dog shit awful like Jake Lloyd awful in Phantom Menace.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Jingle All the Way. I thought you were going to bring that back around.
No.
Like, oh, come on, man. Come on. No, like, I understand, like, what Cameron was going for. It seemed like he had the personalities of a John Connor. It's just his testicles dropped during the production. They had to redub all of his lines, and you could tell it was just awkward. So, unfortunately, that happened. He hit puberty too early. But when you redub over lines, it's not natural. It does not feel right. It's just very jarring. I bet he had great acting on set. But when you have to redub lines, you're not going to have that same powerful performance as you did when you were on set. That's just the way it goes. So, I mean, Edward Furlong, man, no. Just no. But no, Terminator 2, you can actually argue that this was actually Schwarzenegger's best performance. Like that whole ending sequence with him saying goodbye to John like that, I was like, he hardly says any lines. I mean, guys, he has like 3 sentences throughout the entire film, even with the first Terminator. He got paid like $20,000 per word, and I think it was only like 18 or 20 words or something. I forgot, but like it was really minimal. And so here's what I like about James Cameron the most, is that he took this oily upped Austrian model and he turned him into a good actor because he served the role of a robot. And he served the role of someone who didn't have to talk much and who had to stand there as a threatening presence. Or in the second one, he was a good presence. So I think casting Arnold in this franchise is the best thing he's ever done with his career. I think it's the best. I think Judgment Day is the best performance he's ever given, because you felt that connection between him and John Connor, and you felt like when they parted ways at the end, it was kind of sad and disheartening. But that's my little rant. That's why Terminator 2 Judgment Day is fantastic. It's a really good follow-up sequel. And like what Brian was saying about the first one cost $6 million. And Orion made it, and they actually did not want James Cameron to direct it because he was a first-time director. And they went ahead and they shopped it around, and Orion would let him direct. The movie made about $70 million plus worldwide. That's a great profit margin. The second one, get this, ladies and gentlemen, the budget was $100 million, so they were able to get $94 million extra than what they already were given. And then Judgment Day made $500 million worldwide. It is the most profitable, besides Genesis, because we don't know yet, because the numbers have not come in. Judgment Day is the most profitable one in the franchise. Rise of the Machines dipped significantly, and Salvation dipped even below that. So that just shows you right there that people love Judgment Day. Judgment Day, in my opinion, was the best one so far. So that's it. I'm done jerking off to it. So, Brian, any closing thoughts on Judgment Day?
You said pretty much everything I was going to say. So,
I mean, look.
It's a fantastic movie. It's one of the best sequels, sci-fi films ever, and
it revolutionized CGI. It was the first
exactly
CGI character in it, like CGI and human at the same time. So I thought that was
exactly.
So, Brian, I want you to ask me the question: what? Because I just got back from it like literally an hour ago. So, Brian, ask me, what did you think of Genesis?
What did you think of Genesis?
And we're all out of time. We're going to find out tomorrow on Real Me and Colin, a movie podcast. Brian's going to be on that podcast. We're going to break down Genesis, and he's going to know whether I liked it, whether I thought it was okay, or whether I hated it.
I'm curious to know what your worst is now. I'm worried that this could be your worst Arnold film.
Oh man, you have no idea what you're in for. You have no idea. I could end up praising this thing. I could end up just disowning this thing. I'm not going to tell you, and I'm not going to tell you either. You're going to find out tomorrow on the podcast. Brian's going to be on there, like I said. We're going to go over Terminator Genesis. We're going to go over movie news and trailers, including the Creed trailer, because Brian wants to talk about that one. And so that will be the agenda for tomorrow, folks. We're going to get our podcast on. So thank you for watching Top 5 Saturdays live. Brian, go ahead and tell the peeps that are listening, who are we top 5ing next week?
Next week, we are top 5 in, I can't do an impression of this guy, Michael Keaton.
Michael
Keaton.
That's his French name. So
Michael Keaton, bitches.
Why are we doing it over Michael Keaton?
Because he's going to be in Minions next week.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Minions comes out on the 10th of July, so that's what we're going to be doing for next week. On Top 5 Saturdays Live, we're going to be doing Michael Keaton. It gives us an excuse to do Michael Keaton because he is technically in the Minions movie. So that will be next week's show. Like I said, tune in tomorrow for Real Me and Colin Movie Podcast for Terminator Genesis. And we'll see you tomorrow. So, Brian, tell the people where they can find you online.
You guys can find me at Twitter at BrianSuds98, BRYANSUDZ98, and on YouTube.com/Brian Sutfield, and that's where you can find me.
Awesome. And you can find me on all the links in the description below. Also, the beginning song that's going to be for this show and my podcast, that's actually one of my friend's bands. His link will be in the description below for you can find out more about their band info and where they can find their songs and stuff. So I'm Chase Lee.
I'm Brian Sutfield.
And we're going to see you guys next week for another episode of Top 5 Saturdays Live. Peace out, everyone.
See you guys next week.